Hello, YouTubers. This is Joe Bravo, Mo Bravo's Knife Reviews, and today I have a special video about the state of my collection as of September 20th, 2021. I know it's been a lot of fun collecting and having the channel. Life's been certainly getting in the way a little bit, and that is okay because I still can enjoy this hobby in the little spurts of time that I have the availability. And that's why I wanted to do this video today. And that's why I want to tell everybody what's been in my pocket, what I've been enjoying, what's new, what's not new, and, hear from the crowd, see what your favorite is. So, without further ado, I want to say the highlight of my collection right now has to be my Peña Mula. This is a custom Mula by Enrique Peña. It is a thumb stud deployment and also a front flipper deployment. What I like about the front flipper is that I could kind of get a little bit on top of it and roll it over, kind of like the sham, and I could get on the tick, kind of like an Atlas or one of my Antons, and it really turns into a really nice knife. Really been enjoying this guy. It is a bolster lock, which is one of my favorite things about this knife. As you can see, the bolster is there, which means my hands don't necessarily ride the lock bar, which means easy spider flick, easy thumb flick, easy thumb roll. The next knife that's really been impressing me, I'm gonna have to say my Fifth 20. Now this is the new frame lock version, 3.5 inch, running on bearings by CKF Custom Knife Factory. This is a tremendous action. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. You can Anton flip it, panty drop it, and it does not have the weak detent that the liner lock has, which is something I'm really excited about. Um, this is going to be a keeper, I think. I tried to offload it. Nobody was biting, and maybe I had a little bit of high because I knew I wanted to keep it. I really think this is a great example of the stuff coming out of CKF. And you could Spidey flick it. So thumb flick, Spidey flick. I wish it had a little bit more of a tick, kind of like the sham does, so I could thumb roll it. I think it would be great, but I don't think that's a detriment. You could push it. You could use the side of your nail. I used to go like this before I knew what the hell I was doing, but you could do it. And overall, it is a ball to play with. Somebody on the forums was asking the other day what size skiffs you need. I don't think you do because that's a hell of a knife. The next knife that I haven't had on the channel yet, and I know it's upsetting, is my Thieves Mead full-size dyno 4-inch. Man, is this baby sexy. I had this custom built. It is G-Carta with a Zerk shield, with the Zerk spacer, and a Zerk pocket clip. I actually had this give me an additional pocket clip because I was scared it was not going to hold up, and it's been holding up just fine. Sometimes the Zerk's not as pliable as the titanium. One of the things I want to just touch on, this is a really thin blade stock, and I know it marries up to the traditional slip joint, and in reality, it isn't a thin bar stock in its own right. It's just hollowed down so thin that you almost feel like you wouldn't want to cut into an apple. Now, I haven't hard used that knife, but one day I want to take an apple and just see how that blade holds up in comparison to, the Fifth. I mean, look at the difference. I mean, night and day. Night and day. Look at that. I mean, just tiny edge. But overall, beautiful knife. Oh, and what I didn't know about this is you could Spidey flick it too. I mean, what the hell? Why wouldn't you want a knife that you could have multiple deployments? And this one has it. And I love it. It's weird because you got to do a ring finger flick, but it marries up so well to the, I guess, deep print of the scales that It's a really, really comfortable flick. Yeah, you can get your middle finger down there. Uh, and with that, I'm going to go over to my sham. I'm sorry, not my sham, my burger. This is a burger Lex K Plus, and I pretty much tell everybody that's looking at a burger, go with the liner. I had a frame lock, it did not fit me as well. Excuse me. I had a frame lock Atlas, and I don't know if I would struggle or not with the frame lock LEXK, but you ever feel like the knife's just done so well that you don't really need anything else? One of the things I don't care about burger is every iteration comes with a blue frickin' pocket clip. So like if you have jungle green scales, you still have a blue pocket clip. It's weird. Um, my buddy Justin at High Grains, he's got a real sexy Damasteel bolster version, really, really nice. A little bit heavier. This thing rides great in the pocket, and it's lighter than hell, and it's fun to play with. Now, I can't, yeah, that's a little bit of a struggle, and I didn't showcase this on the Meads, but man, is that fun. Just another method of deployment. And that deployment's like glass. And again, I think it's because it's how thin the grind is, that it's a really light blade. If you look at it, I struggle on this one as well. The Mead, it's just perfect for doing the top little flick. I do have my two Antons, which, everybody knows are by far my favorite. I am trying to move one of these. I do want to move my Stealth Boudica, mainly because this double pocket is beautiful. The Stealth is great as a user, but I just think it's a little redundant trying to have two knives that are basically identical. This one does have the newer style pocket clip on there. You wouldn't notice because you're not anal like I am. I know that the couple of you guys that have Antons would notice the difference, but one's got two screws, the other one's got one. One's a little bit narrow and cants to the left, whereas the other one is widened. Um, just something Anton was doing to keep things different. I'm trying to work on something special with him, so stay tuned to the channel. We'll see if I can convince him to do something, really cool going forward. This is a Brian Brown Chuck. This is 1095 steel, carbon steel. It is really thin. It's about 2¼ inches, really light. Comes in a nice plastic sheath, and something I got to try out. But I do think I'm going to move it. So if anybody's trying to get their hands on a Brian Brown, this is a really cool entry level way to get in there. Riot produced, not a custom. This guy is special. I picked him up recently, and this is cool. It is a Makin' Bacon 1 of 200 edition with a serial number 003. For you guys that don't know, 003 was part of the Mayor Fione collection. This is part of Tony's wife's collection. He would keep one of every of those knives in that configuration, and this was 1 of 200 made for a shoot down in Texas. As you can see, the pig, the logo was Makin' Bacon with a couple of, looks like M60s maybe, for a machine gun shoot down there. And if you like shooting, you like machine guns, that's a hell of a knife to own, especially because it's an 003, which doesn't only make it rare, but it also makes it super duper rare. And one of, I think, absolutely the most beautiful knife in my whole collection is the Anton Boudica full size with cracked ice nebula. The pivot is just fantastic. You can get lost in it looking at it. I know it's hard to see. I did a shit job with the lighting tonight because I'm lazy, and sorry, but I'm lazy. That's what happens when life gets in the way. This is beautiful. It really is. If you can get yourself your hands on a cracked ice nebula, do it. It's worth it. See, old style pocket clip, and just look at the blue. How it pops. Get that knife out in the sun and let it live. This is my V4 Spectre with the flux pattern, as you can see. I mean, look how badass that looks. This is satin, which means if you hold it, your fingerprints won't show, which I love. And Stonewash 2.0, which means you can actually use this thing and not cry about it with getting the mirror all gummed up. And it's got Damascus bits. Damascus on the clip, Damascus on the spacer, with skiffs installed. And man, when the knife is just right, The knife is just right. Next is my Simeon Unto. Uh, I know not many of you know. I don't hold on to knives for a while. So if I'm holding on to this guy, what's that tell you? I sold my Roosevelt, I sold my BBM, I sold Paisan, Nirvana, and those are Rosantes, not just Spyderco's. I really feel like this is one of my favorite tuned actions. This hole allows me to just get in on it anywhere. I don't even have to get on the hole. I can get it just where the hole meets up, and there's just enough bite that I could literally do this shit all fucking day. It is awesome. If you don't have a Simeon with this hole, get one and give it a shot because I love it. The last knife I have is one I bought on a whim. Everybody talks about the quality of David Mozier's knives. This is a Scourge, Scourge, Scourge. OD micarta scales with the titanium bolster and, of course, the frame lock. It's freaking awesome. It really is. It runs on bearings. It is great on the detent. What I found is I can't treat it like my Simeon or my Mula or any of the knives where I deploy outward. It has to be an upward flick, and you can't ride the lock bar. Somebody was trying to move a liner lock Scourge, and I think that might be a little bit better suited for me, only because my big meats paws love to ride the frame lock, and like any stud, it don't matter what it is. If you ride that lock bar, you're gonna have trouble, and because of that, I am trying to move the Scourge. I think it'd be great in somebody else's collection. It's a beautiful knife. It's definitely growing on me. I'm getting really, really better at utilizing it and using it with the detent and the frame lock. But you try something out and you move it on. All right, favorites. Right now, the Mula, hands down. Favorite flipper, Spectre, any day of the week. Any day of the week. And if you look at my collection, I only have one knife that's got a spidey hole on it. So what's that tell you? What's my favorite spider hole knife? I have been trying the studded knives, and I really do think that the Mula is top notch. I might try looking at a Maverick, and he's got a liner lock that's a front flipper and a studded. I had the Waka frame lock with the pointy, gave me a problem. Front flipper. What's my favorite front flipper? It's got to go with the Boudica. I mean, hands down, it is unbelievable what Anton's doing. And I can't wait to get an Anton in the size of this CKF. Now, I don't think I would have enjoyed it unless I had these full size Boudicas to get practice on. Um, the biggest shocker is this burger is right on par with all these knives. I mean, if you want to talk about my favorite carry right now, I'd say it's between the Mula and the burger. I had to add a deep carry clip onto my Mula. This is a ZT0450 at an MX gear. And man, it works great. Gives me that deep carry that I love. But the burger, you didn't need it. I mean, look how high that is. It sits perfect. It's carbon fiber. It's light. The liners are light, and man, is it great. Um, One of the knocks on the Mead, not that it's a real knock, but it is thick. And look how high the pocket clip sits. Now, some people like that. You get this knife, you want to show it off in the pocket. I guess there's a time and a place, but it just sits a little high for me. He does make a configuration without a clip, and you could put it in a slip. That's also not for me. So, just kind of the give and take with some of the knives. I do think the Spectre is probably the best knife at being a knife, only because the ergos on it are fantastic. The pocket clip is great. The action is great. It's kind of one of those knives that are absolutely perfect in how they did the configuration. They're getting the preferential treatment depending on which set of bearings you got in there, how you have the detent adjusted, and then what configuration in the scales that you have. Best production knife definitely goes to the CKF, being that it is the only production knife I have on here, except for the Macon Bacon and the Brian Brown, which probably aren't staying long. Obviously, the prettiest knife we said is the full-size Boudica with the single pocket, the cracked ice nebula. But I'm telling you, when you look at this twin pocket in certain light, it is stellar. And the Mead, I mean, damn it, man, you make one sexy ass knife. Any other knife with a blade like that would be long gone. But the action is so easy, it's so crisp, it's so fun, and it's beautiful. This is G quarter. That's not even my quarter. With the Zerk, it just pops. Everybody that sees that knife is impressed. And that's what makes it hard. That's what makes buying and selling knives difficult. That's why I gotta sell the Mozier. That's why I gotta sell the Stealth Boudica. I'd probably sell the Brian Brown. I'd probably sell the Microtech. It's gonna be difficult. I thought about selling the Burger, but man, I don't think I could get a better knife for a pocket carry. Things less than 3.2 ounces, and that in the pocket, and the ability to spider flick it. It's got the right blade shape for me. Just perfect. Oh, and look at that. It's a frame lock. Don't have to ride nothing. I mean, beautiful. All right. So in conclusion, I'm going to pull that off. I'm going to pull that off. I'm going to pull that off. I'm going to move him up. I'm going to move the Moisier out because even though it is a spectacular, spectacular knife, I don't think it belongs. And I'm going to be lazy and just. And sorry again for the lighting. I know it sucks, but deal with it. Uh, Out of these 8 knives, what knives would I keep hands down? Oh, I spit on my carbon blade. I have to wipe that off, apply a little bit of oil so I don't get any rust. No, I'm just kidding. Man, the front flipper on the Anton is stellar. The blade on the Cracked Ice Nebula is out of control. A Spectre is a Spectre is a Spectre. I think any V4 version is going to be stellar. I think this Flux is out of control with the Damascus and being a Prestige with the Stonewash 2.0. It's almost a perfect user configuration. The Mead just pops with the action. It is fabulous. I don't think it's going anywhere. The Simeon, I had 3 Simeons. This is the best out of the iteration. My carbon fiber actually had a little bit better of an action, but I think that has to do with tuning and the carbon fiber. But it was a little light, a little top heavy with the bigger blade. So with the titanium configuration, the Mula, hands down, everybody is jonesing to get a piece of that. They're not getting it, and that one's staying. And again, the Burger and the CKF are really, really quality knife. I think the Burger is going to stay around for a while, and the CKF as well. I mean, it is fun. Do I see the CKF staying if I had to choose one full size frame lock? Anton, probably not. I think I would say I'd get rid of the Anton. I'm sorry, get rid of the 520 and get another Anton in that configuration and not in the stealth with the gun coat with the Cerakote. So yeah, if I had to tell you about my keepers, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and my Cortex was supposed to come today. It is not here, but that's going to go right there. And I think I'd be really, really happy with 8 quality knives. Sell the rest, and then try and find something else because that's what's so great about this hobby is having the ability to buy, sell, trade, and just figure out what knife works best for you. So let me hear it. I know it's been a while. Like, subscribe, comment. What's your favorite knife right now? What's your knife that you're excited about? Are there any drops that you're really jonesing for? Anything you want to see on this channel? Let me know. Really happy to hear from you. Thanks for watching and have a lovely week. Peace.